fact is we're soldiers. We're not in a, it's not a nursery school in the military. It's a martial profession. And they're volunteers. And all of us realised that we were liable. Before I went to Bosnia in 1992, the Ministry of Defence suggested that my casualty rate would be 25%, up to 25%, and that it, personally, their estimation was that my chances of survival were 50-50 as the commanding officer, depending on where I was. If I was in the front lines, my chances were 50-50. If I wasn't, less.
And what were those front lines like in Bosnia compared to other conflicts?
Well, I never had seen front lines like that. Ireland didn't have front lines like that. But in Bosnia, you certainly had front lines with delineated positions and tank positions and minefields and anti-ambush things, improvised explosive devices, bodies, bits of bodies around, and bodies. I buried a man in a shallow trench. Personally, I dug him in because we couldn't bring the body back, so I buried him, having taken his... He wasn't one of ours. He was a Croat. But he was a man, and he requires to be treated properly.
When you look back now at the conflict, does it amaze you that it evolved to the level it did?
But the whole thing amazed me from start to finish, that it was happening in Europe in 1992-93. How can this happen in a civilized, you know, when you see what happened in Bosnia, you are no longer shocked by what happened in Nazi Germany, because the same brutality was evident. We saw ethnic cleansing, we saw genocide. But we didn't see well, I suppose you could say we did see sort of extermination camps in one way, but not quite a systematic way of Dachau or Auschwitz.
And do you think, looking back now, that the UN could or should have done more to prevent the ethnic cleansing? Would it have been possible?
Yeah, well, the UN could have actually sent us in with a mandate to stop the battles completely. We were told not to get involved in any of the fighting. But it's not just you can't blame the UN, you can blame the nations. The UN is the nations. The UN makes decisions at the speed of a striking slug, but those decisions are made just like a convoy crossing the Atlantic. It can't go at the speed of the fastest ships, it has to go at the speed of the slowest ship. And when you're making decisions in the United Nations, consensus requires everyone, and it's the lowest common denominator which everyone can agree on. And that normally means the mandate's incompetent, inefficient and ineffective for the soldiers on the ground.
So was it frustrating being in a situation where you were in command and yet held back by the UN's decision-making process?
Not particularly, because I bent the mandate. I did what I thought was morally right and legal. For example, we opened fire quite a lot because it was necessary to save lives. And that was just about within the mandate of the United Nations. The rules of engagement, anyway.